Go time! Every time we embark on making a Fast and Furious film,
the best background I have ever seen in Scotland.
I, on a personal level, think of it as a miracle, and I am grateful and blessed. But I also feel desire to make that audience that supported us for so long proud. I know you don't carpool. So what's up?
I always feel like when the sequel happens, it's not by accident. It's something that is earned. If you make a movie that connects with people, you get the privilege of making another film. On this one, we really wanted to push each other. We didn't want to compromise. We didn't want to just kind of cap ourselves. Just the action itself, the logistic size is unparalleled.
Hey, when you go, are you guys ever gonna? Leave it to Justin and you're gonna get there.
You get to the set and you just don't know what to expect.
If we're gonna go out, might as well go out on top of the world.
Punch it!
It's really crazy that it all still feels brand new.
We have 100% reinvented ourselves. And that's what we seem to do each and every time.
We're out of space!
This is definitely the highlight of my career.
Justin has such a vision. The scope is so massive.
Strategically, it makes for a huge challenge. Shooting sometimes 3 units, 3 parts of the world at the exact same time takes coordination, a lot of trust.
Justin's ability to relay information. He's an amazing, expert, technical director who's been doing this for a long time. I'm always the most fond of working with men and women like that. I call him on the phone from set. I send him screenshots. I look at the edit. I look at his previses, his storyboards. I've been studying his style for a long time.
This is an amazing group of people. I mean, they're at the top of their profession.
I found great comfort in just all of the people that have been a part of the franchise for so long.
Getting all of that energy from our family makes what we put on camera mean that much more.
My ass is on fire!
I love everything about our writers, our producers, our stuntmen, our directors, everyone behind the scenes. You deserve just as much, if not more, of a round of applause as us actors that are on screen.
When you think you just can't top yourself anymore, figure out a way.
It started as this tiny film about street racing. And because of the love of the characters, it's emerged a much bigger story about family being broken apart by a secret that's been buried from the past and having to reconcile that.
Imagine an unknown brother to the Toretto family. Who in the world could embody that character? He is such an incredible talent. Wait till you see. Wait till you see.
I couldn't ask for a better endorsement. Every family, I don't care how perfect you are, we all have our secrets. Even the Torettos have secrets.
We spent a lot of time trying to figure out this idea that there would be a middle brother who was involved in Jack Toretto's death.
It was just an immediate knowing that John had the soul to personify this lost and forgotten Toretto.
I was one of the young people captivated by the first installment, and I've watched ever since. My invite, so to say, into the Fast family was rather abrupt. I got a call literally 35 minutes later. I was in Vin Diesel's gym talking to Vin about the possibility of being invited into the Fast family.
When you are in the room, when these two individuals are shooting these intense scenes, you can feel the energy.
You know, the only good thing to come from Dad dying, if he hadn't, I'd have spent my entire life in your shadow. Now, you spend the rest of yours living in mine.
We haven't ever seen Toretto versus Toretto. is this unresolved part of his life that prevents him from becoming a true father. To quote Dame Helen Mirren, there's nothing more dangerous than a family at odds. And you see that in the ferocity our characters go at each other, that longing for that brotherhood.
I was like, he's gonna be able to make the world believe that he's actually a Toretto. Him and Vin on set for the first day of filming. You know, there was a couple takes, it felt like some was really about to happen on set.
We needed somebody who we believed could take Dom down. A similar physical build, intelligent, really brings their own persona to screen.
I said to him, to play a Toretto, you're gonna have to be prepared to go to some dark places. And I believed him when he said, whatever it takes.
We can do this instead. Just to be around the environment has been awesome, and Vin has been one of a kind. As I came into it with the mindset of you are surrounded by really, really gifted folks who have done 2 decades worth of establishing a legacy.
He is never afraid to be vulnerable. He's never afraid to get knocked down. It made my job more fulfilling to be able to have a partner like that.
So many options, so many options.
I love John Cena. I used to watch wrestling quite a bit. The nostalgia of him in WWE is very real in my heart.
I think he's like the perfect brother for Dom, and it's been cool getting to know him.
I like his vibe. I like what he represents.
It's very hard to create a villain, and it's very hard to create a villain that feels really formidable. Each of these films really is that much stronger when we have a foe that we believe could break that family down.
It was very important to me to truly have this antagonist that's going to be a huge obstacle for our characters.
And for the record, we're the good guys. I'm Luke freaking Skywalker.
Otto's the money man behind all this, right? Jacob's the brains, and Sue is his muscle.
Otto is the beneficiary, basically, of a kingdom. He wants to change the world, I think, for the better. I'm not so sure he has any idea what the better might mean. I'm pretty certain that if you gave world power to Otto, you wouldn't like what came out on the other side.
Lieutenant Sue, he's obviously from a military background, and he's Otto's friend and main security.
I really loved that they made Sue big and punishing. It was a pleasure to get my ass kicked by Sue, because he's this big guy with tattoos all over his face.
When I spoke to Justin about the character, it was so nice that I was able to not put a comedy spin on him, but almost have him as a carefree psychopath.
Your whole life, you pushed yourself to be faster than Dom, smarter than Dom. Do you hate him enough it keeps you up at night?
To be able to work with Charlize and bring Cypher,
Money well spent.
she just brings not only the sense of professionalism, but her level of awareness when she showed up. She could tell we were still fresh and we were still having a great time, and she was able to feed off that energy.
What's so fun about writing for a character like Cypher is she just knows exactly where to stick the knife and how to twist.
I bet all you ever wanted was a hug.
You read my psyche, Val. Good for you. Charlize is not as good as you all think she is. She's far better than that. I was just looking at her in amazement of what she does and how good she is.
This would be the moment where the villain has an unexpected setback.
Charlize Theron is just extremely precise, meticulous. She keeps on working with it, keeps on seeing new nuances of it, and it's such an inspiration to me.
I think actually she frightened John in 2 ways.
You know, I look at her and I feel creeped out. Sort of turned on at the same time.
She is one step ahead of everybody. I think John felt that. He definitely seemed shook. Adding your brother Dom to the mix, you don't have a chance.
There's heat, there's sunburn, there's sunstroke. Please get your factor 50 on, or 70 if you're Scottish like me. Jungle hazards, the hazards of the jungle. Monsoon showers, falling fruits, poisonous plants, everyone. Snakes, scorpions, bugs, and mosquitoes. They carry dengue fever at this time of year. These palm fronds can easily just go up, so just be very careful with that, guys. Thank you very much, ladies and gents. Let's talk about the first shot, please. Well done, everyone. Come on.
On Fast 5, one of the main reasons they brought me on was because I do things practical.
really can't film in a jungle, a real jungle, because there's no way to get a car through it. So we had to find things that looked like jungle that were private land, and most of them were palm oil plantations. Because it's palm trees, the ground is like clay. We did a bunch of tests and ended up having to make our own roads.
The weather, the humidity, we were actually there during monsoon season. I mean, there were just layers and layers and layers.
Well, they'd collect palm fronds and throw them down on the roads we had made, then more gravel, and we'd rake it out, run over it with a couple of cars to try to get the water out of it so we could actually film without getting mud all over the cars.
It's not just the ideas, the cars, the special effects, it's the cameras, it's the people, the helicopters, the permits, and you have a small window of time to get it in. Everything has to go right.
Part of the fun of making these films is picking the cars. I always say that these cars are extensions of our characters.
If the cars were lined up, you would know which cars for which character. That was the most challenging location we've ever shot at.
Obviously, we got a Charger. You can't do one of these films without one of those.
This is definitely not your average Charger.
We've used the modern Charger in many of these films, and I wanted to change it up, doing a wide-body version. Makes the car much more muscular, having those slight fender flares, and then we made our own hoods for that scoop. Bronze stripes, bronze Hellcat logo on the side. I think the result was pretty awesome. We did get into some situations where the terrain was so rough that we had to put a Charger body on an off-road race truck.
What does Peligro Minas mean?
Peligro Minas means danger landmines.
What?
Thailand was probably more explosions for a sequence than we've done on any Fast. Effects had dug big holes in the ground and put big mortars with like 10 pounds of naphthalene and then a bunch of moss and dirt over the top of that. Huge explosions, probably 25, 30-foot fireballs every time.
The Marauder. It's built on the chassis of a Unimog, but a lot of that was chopped away to allow for this enormous armored body.
Y'all want to make jokes about me not making practical decisions? This is as practical as it gets.
This is 6 tons before they start adding all of the reinforcement for our driver's safety, of course. He's in a tank, inside of a tank.
Who's compensating now?
I like that truck. The thing is crazy. I was trying to figure out a way to FedEx it back to LA, and then they told me about the VIN number don't add up, you know, whatever. Justin has a habit of laughing at my pain.
So you don't want me to do this just in the middle of the scene?
When it comes to those gimbals, all of the special effects stuff, I mean, these guys are just uberly talented, man. Like, where do y'all come up with this stuff? I just hope to make the gimbals look cool, because the gimbals make me feel cool when I'm in.
Vince, you know that was the
Letty obviously was on a motorcycle. We had to make sure that everything was done exactly just right.
Letty's definitely not fearful of death. When people don't put the primordial fear of death as the main thing, you get the X Games. You know what I mean? The bike, such a Letty thing. That element of taking yourself to the edge, really finding out what stuff you're capable of and what you're made of, and pushing the envelope of survival. Letty's not Letty unless she's facing her fears head on.
I'm about to go head-to-head with a four-door Hellcat Charger, and ironically placed in the driver's seat of a Ford Mustang, a brilliant one.
That's another car that was definitely Justin's idea. It's a great rivalry that goes back 50 years between Ford and Dodge. We took Polaris 1000 side-by-sides, put carbon fiber Mustang bodies over the Polaris. So that's how we got these great shots going through terrain that you're like, wow, that's pretty intense.
I know the car community is going to get a nice chuckle out of it because I have a bit of a history with Ford, but I think it's really cool that I get to drive a Mustang, to be surrounded by automotive culture every single day.
Well, that was new. You gotta understand, action movies, you really are stepping into a male-dominated sport. Fast and Furious is a big part of my evolution. I've had the greatest opportunity to have a voice, really shed light using the platform of this franchise. Took a long time, but in this there was a lot more attention to that female voice.
Get involved here, you put everything you have at risk.
We're all risking something.
Filmmaking has evolved in how we portray characters. I felt like it was important for us to at least to be able to acknowledge the past in order to define our future.
On the day Anna and Jordana and Michelle and I were all on set for the first time together, I was like, this is amazing. To have like 4 kind of badass women just together, it was so exciting to see that rise of a female voice within the series.
Nathalie, she has a lot more hands-on action. Anna's character is really, really kick-ass. Also, Mia's back. I'm so happy.
When I found out I was coming back, I was like, I can't wait. Like, get me in there. I was always in scenes with Michelle. We've always promoted things together, but we never really got to interact. And I adore her, and I adore how she keeps on evolving and changing, and she knows her stuff. I also have Vin to thank in a major way because he definitely wanted to bring the family back together.
Jordana never left, in my mind. People that have learned the shorthand that the audience have come to know makes Fast special.
Come on, Mia, let's go.
Come in. Wait up.
Hurry up.
God damn it.
We're part of the original crew. It's just refreshing to have a moment with her and have her be part of the action.
Boom. He kind of does take this and bam.
Cool. Yeah.
Two-handed. Bam.
Yeah.
The fight that's in Tokyo was one of the first ideas when I was developing the script. 3 fights happening all at once in this tiny apartment.
All right, rehearsing, here we go.
Our 3 heroines are taking on 7 elite guards.
Go!
We actually designed the apartment for the fight.
This is made of foam, neoprene. Everything's built that way so we can create a lot of havoc and impact.
It's her first time actually doing some action.
Can't be in a Fast and Furious movie and not do that stuff. That's just not fair. But in this one, I get a lot of action, which was so fun and so invigorating.
She grabs a lot of objects. She uses the surroundings and tag teams with Letty to do like the finish moves.
They taught it to me like a dance. It was weeks and weeks of prep. Whereas Michelle can just pick it up like that.
Okay, got it. I did get some hands-on with the fight.
Michelle's extraordinary. High energy, high impact, very straightforward in all her moves.
She's also very aware of where the camera is as an action performer.
So I gotta get up into position.
As we all know, Letty's more of a brawler, so we bring that back into the table on this one.
Oh, there it is.
In some crazy sadistic way, I really enjoyed it.
Go!
On top of that, we have a new character named Elle.
What a badass. That was my first impression, and second impression, and third impression.
So Anna, when she came, we had no idea what her background was. Our first warm-up, she literally popped into the splits, and we were like, no way.
The stunt training was amazing. They let me practice so much. I think I was at the gym for a really long time, and they were like, when is she gonna leave?
Anna's a new character, so we gave her an interesting style, lucha gun libre. It's a mix of Mexican wrestling with gun work and baton work.
She hams him up and clocks him, and then comes the big trickery.
Working with Michelle and Jordana has been truly inspiring.
I feel so proud, like a mama or an auntie or something.
Action! Cut! Alarm!
Move in. Move. On the left, go.
Nice necklace, Queenie. Diamonds and emeralds never look so good.
Now, Dame what?
Dame, you're incredible.
No. Dame Helen.
Dame Helen?
I believe that when somebody is a part of this franchise, they're always a part of this franchise. And so it's very important for me to find ways and opportunities to revisit their characters and to allow their characters to play in the greater mythology. I just love Helen Mirren, and I love working with her. Vince? Yes, fine. I feel very blessed and honored that I have the opportunity to work with her.
I wish I could explain the bond between Helen Mirren and Vin Diesel. It makes no sense, but it's spectacular. Brown bread dead, septic tank yank.
You want Cockney? You got it. Jump cut to 4 years ago. Helen Mirren comes up to me and says, I've been telling everyone I want to work with you and I want to be in the Fast and Furious. And I said, well, we already have the script and we're already going into production. And she said, you're the producer. Get it together.
Help me, Helen.
As one does when one's had a couple of glasses of wine and one sees one of one's heroes across the room. I went and I was, rather bold. And I would have completely understood if he said, sorry, Helen, it's not the sort of thing for you, really. But the opposite happened. I'm a very happy part of the extended family of Fast and Furious.
I feel like you should make a left because what happens is
the
car goes straight.
Make a left.
Left, and could you come around to the right? It was very clear to me when I met Helen Mirren that she was not only someone that is universally praised, but also what I realized was that she loved this franchise.
You do the driving, I'll cut you in for 15%. Queenie is called Queenie because I had an auntie Queenie. My mum was one of 14 children and Queenie. She was the 13th of 14 children. So I called my character Queenie in honor of my Aunt Queenie. She's the matriarch of quite a powerful family. There is a little bit of tongue-in-cheek about it. We don't want to take it too seriously. I always try to do my own driving if I can in a movie. It's very fun because very often the roads are being closed for you.
She always had the wish to drive because she's a very good driver, by the way. That was just so much fun.
Here we go. Pictures up.
You coming?
Action.
It's not actually me. I did my own sort of stunt driving. I love it. I love the process.
What's that right there? What is that right there? That's the queen spot, y'all.
When I show up on set sometimes, I realize, we've closed down some of the most exclusive streets or neighborhoods in the world to be able to shoot that scene.
All on this side, so everyone's going to come this side. Got to come another 5 feet back.
I remember going on the Scout, going, okay, let's get it in the background. Let's see how much we can get.
Well, I was amazed that they were allowed to shoot the way they did and shoot this incredible sequence. It's quite a juxtaposition. Last time I arrived at the palace, I arrived in a taxi.
I said, hey, what's that building back there? And Fraser, my first AD, said, hey, that's where the Queen's house, that's where the Queen lives. Being from a small town in Texas, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And he said, yeah. And I said, they're gonna let us film here. So I kind of hit a home run on that one. I got really lucky.
Get the hair brake for me, would you, darling?
It was the perfect car for what we needed to do. It was fast enough and ornery enough to get backwards and sideways when we needed to get.
Okay, here we go. Stand by, noise. And 3, 2, 1, action.
I'm not going to show you my boots because I want them to be first seen on screen because they are so spectacular. It was very intimidating to find myself driving Vin Diesel. Oh my God. So
she does it so brilliant.
I had to keep saying, am I doing it right?
No,
it was very intimidating.
The boys have nothing on her.
Roll camera. This way. Now get out. Chemistry is a very strange thing, isn't it? He's someone that I dearly love and respect and feel comfortable with. And I think maybe it is because we're very different from each other. And I'm very, very lucky to have him a little bit in my life. Thank you, darling. Thank you so much for making this so fun and so exciting and kind of a new world to be a part of. And I'm just loving every minute.
When are they gonna learn? Some birds can't be caged.
Ready and action.
Coming back on F9, it's a constant interaction of inspiration. Ozuna came in and auditioned.
Eres toda una ilusión.
Ilusión. Hasta tú si dejas una ilusión mal parqueada, yo agarro y me la llevo para que sepa. Confié en mí, confié en el papel, le estudié mucho, estudié toda esta semana, así que vine bien preparado y ya me lo tomé como que era parte de eso y era como si fuera una familia. Santos.
No. It was great to be able to just call someone and they're like, we're in. I remember getting a call saying, hey, Cardi B is a fan, and I thought, okay, great. We're gonna be able to do kind of the expected cameo, but we're gonna turn it on its head.
Level down.
What's up? ¿Qué lo que? Lisa's really that bitch, and she's very confident. I was really nervous, but I'm like, it's freaking Fast and Furious. Get me there, put me on a plane. It's getting serious. When I was doing this character, I feel like so gangster, and I love it. Like, I'm a real life gangster, but this just made me feel like... and so bossed up. Dímelo, papi. Yeah, I hate saying that. No, I really do.
What would you say instead?
Because, you know, I don't really flirt in Spanish. So it's like, I don't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like...
Well done, Lisa.
Please, if it wasn't for you, I'd still be stealing gas in the DR. You know, Vin Diesel, he always played like this very serious guy.
Kara's little sister done good.
I'm scared, but he's just so nice, so dope. He makes you feel so comfortable. That's pretty cool. I like that.
I really am. By the way, I really am proud of you. It ain't in the movie, it's real life.
Action.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Francis Nagano, I knew that he had knocked someone so hard that their head, the back of their head hit their back. And there's like footage of that. Getting that incoming call that he wanted to come and hang out.
I grew up in Africa watching Fast and Furious. I was at school and very young, and I was amazed. I've been following since the first one, and today I'm playing a role. It took me time to believe it.
I was 10 years old, I was this tall.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna be 6'8". I'm gonna be 6'8". All the stunt team who do a great job taking care of everybody, the actors, everybody, they're really worried because Francis is so strong that he was gonna accidentally knock Sung out.
No! Okay. Got it.
But luckily it didn't happen, but it's still, you know, I could see why. His hook is so vicious.
It always starts with a simple message from Vin via Instagram telling me, see you soon. And everybody is constantly looking for new faces in the movie.
To see Don Omar, I was just like, oh my God, I know him, I love him. And it was just like hype. It is pleasing, just the fact that they're giving light to the Latin community. It just makes me smile, it just makes me feel proud.
Me being part of this is a great opportunity to see my friends again. This respect, this admiration, it is different. I'm really proud of that. Yo creo que eso es de las grandes cosas y de la gran magia que hay detrás de la familia de Fast and Furious.
This is hard. There ain't no music video for y'all.
The brother you're looking for, it's from an old life. This is my world.
Justin being an amazing director, an amazing action director who knows what he wants, I just said, how above reality are we going? Is it reality plus 10%? Or is it reality plus 80%? He just smiled and said, we're gonna have a lot of play in that. So there was actually 3 things going on all at once. We were in the midst of doing this chase, while we were in the midst of doing another chase, in the midst of doing another fight. Background in ancient city of Edinburgh.
I loved Edinburgh. It's such an amazing city. The architecture, the landscapes, and the people are really friendly and fun. I mean, I think we probably annoyed them with all the road closures, but we had such a warm welcome.
So he goes out,
Yep.
1 banana, 2 banana.
If he's still on 4 wheels, have him exit as well. Because I need to blow him out as well. And that's the heel. That's the end of my script.
Okay, that one was my fault. Nathalie knows how to drive. I do know how to drive, I just don't have a license. But yeah, so Ramsey and I have that in common. It's very funny that the first time she's like driving is this commercial vehicle. That's huge. It's not how you want your first experience of driving to be, because potentially it could be really traumatizing.
Hell yeah. I have so much fun with the scenes with myself and Ramsey.
We've had some great fights. There's something about if you get into it with a sibling, it is 100 times more intense.
That's the thing about the brother fight. There's no rules.
That's it. 3, 2, 1.
Strong, man. As committed as we are, when it gets ugly. Awesome. It gets pretty brutal. I'll tell you, it's like 2 huge Mack trucks going towards one another.
Brothers will fight dirty, but it's accepted because it's your brother.
It is pretty vicious, like we're punching through pieces of wall.
Vin is awesome to work with. It's almost like second nature to him. He knows where camera is and how to play for camera. We'll show him 2 moves and he'll be like, got it.
In John, I have a partner in wanting to make something significant.
We have a professional wrestler, which offers up the best case scenario for someone who will retain choreography.
He's so professional and he comes on and just turns it on.
Let's get ready to shoot.
Is that all right? The way they choreograph is extremely interesting. Much of my physical action is improv in the WWE, so it's not strictly choreographed, but here it is. There's also a lot of thought and psychology put into the hand-to-hand combat. And as a physical storyteller myself, that's what I enjoy most. Jacob thinks he is smarter, faster, better than Dom, and finds out that he's still outmatched.
No matter how good John Cena is in this movie, you can't beat your big bro.
Vehicle etiquette, guys. Approach from the front. Approach from the front so those drivers can see you.
What I really love about the crew is that nothing is too daunting for them.
You're good? Lovely.
What you gotta know about Tbilisi is all the streets are super wide, beautiful buildings, a lot of straight roads, but a lot of room to work. There was some prep that we had to do. Traffic lights that were too low, a couple of spots going onto the sidewalks. Really look at the runs where we were going. We had to take out some signs, to take out parking meters. Really a pleasure working with Tbilisi Council. Anything we wanted, they would just say, okay, and the next day it was done.
We'll let the bus get going. We'll just have to figure out how far over he has to be so your tail end doesn't hit him.
This mid-engine thing is a Frankenstein's monster.
When people want to know what it sounds like, I say, Toretto.
That mid-engine Charger, it honors like the original kind of shape, but it brings something new.
I tend to love Vin's cars the most. I just think it's just a badass car, visually.
As far as I know, no one's ever built a mid-engine Charger.
I still get so much joy in seeing exotic, very rare cars in environments that we're not used to.
It's kind of combining old and new technology. It's a Dodge Hellcat engine installed like a vintage GT40. Transaxle, 5-speed. Knockoff wheels, custom built by HRE, and in my mind, it's the ultimate Toretto car.
They've lowered it, they've widened it, they put the engine in the middle. But was it ever meant to be in the first place? Who knows?
You go back to that flashback where you see Dom as a kid working on a Charger. And then we fast forward, here Dom is driving what I think is the coolest Charger ever. So yeah, there's definitely a theme going on here.
I'm so happy the car is a muscle car. I was like, gangsta!
The Nova just seemed like it fit her style, you know, just all about function. Sometimes I just want to see an old school true muscle car, a 60s hot rod. The nice thing about a Nova is they're not outrageously expensive. They're an easy car to make go fast. And we didn't go crazy. We didn't put LS motors in them. We just kind of kept them old school American racing wheels, big block, 4-speed, the basics. That's exactly what Letty's car is.
Muscle cars are great.
I wanted something that was gonna be impenetrable, and then we went and just built it.
It's just huge, right? These vehicles were, 14 foot high. I mean, they're enormous. Certainly the biggest thing I've ever built. I named it the Mother Trucker. It's got double front steering and 2 power axles at the rear.
Handling it, Mike Ryan, who's done every big vehicle, he couldn't even see driving this thing. We had cameras on it because it was so tall.
I didn't realize how big it was. It was easy to kind of describe it and just take it for granted. But when you see it, the tires alone.
It just keeps going. It's like the Hulk on wheels, and it's smashing through the streets. It doesn't matter what you throw at it, cars or trucks, it's just gonna keep going.
It's surreal to see something so huge. Look at this. You guys see that? Dom, I can't get to you.
It was an idea that was kind of just in my head, the use of magnetic technology.
The magnet gag just opened up so many cool ideas. Coming up with something that hasn't been done before is so rare.
Effects had all of the washers, dryers, and everything else on big air tubes, 2,500 pounds of pressure piece. They would just hit a button. Everything we do with timing, with marks, is very critical, especially when you put this much time and money into something. Try to work out every detail you can to give you the best chance at a 100% great shot. Otherwise, why do it?
Doing, stuff that's, it's tricky.
People want to be entertained. They want to make it spectacular, but working with Justin, he makes you think about everything, and it brings the best out of you.
We really wanted to push each other.
Let's shoot it again right away.
That's what I'm always looking for. He's an amazing director.
I give the crew all the credit for making it happen.
You can't tell, we're on a Fast and Furious set.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We would go out there and basically burn the tread off the tires until sparks started flying, go back out there and try it again. And I got paid to do it. I was 24 years old, man. It's like...
I really was so happy to be able to figure a way to bring Sean and Twinkie and Earl back in 2005. They were just kids, and seeing how much they've learned since the last time that we were together, it's definitely one of the highlights for me.
Sean, Earl, and Twinkie, when we meet them in F9, in many ways are the same as they were in F3, but they've also evolved a lot.
Please don't tell me you're watching a YouTube video on space rockets for tips. It was pretty special just to get back together and reminisce about all the memories and experiences we had on Tokyo Drift.
Just wanted to have fun, drive cars, and now father now. I wasn't a father, what, 14 years ago? That sounds crazy saying 14 years ago. And I actually went back watching like behind the scenes footage of us from Justin calling cut and me and Luke going back to the trailer playing Madden, us traveling to Tokyo.
Look, man, this car right here is like the Mona Lisa of the drift world.
They taught us how to drift. Yeah. So they took us out at Irwindale Speedway. We had the drift champions of the world, Reese Midland. He taught me. He was my stunt driver.
I mean, it's awesome to be able to tear those cars up. I remember I slammed one of the 350 or 370Z into the wall. I was really paranoid. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get kicked out of here. And I went up to the guy that was handling the cars and he goes, don't worry, it's not your car. You don't have to pay for it. Just get in another one.
In fact, one of my favorite memories was going to karaoke with you and Sonny Chiba.
Yeah.
We ended up at 5 a.m. singing Japanese songs that I had. Who knows what? I have no idea what I was singing. I was just...
He fed us fugu fish that night.
Yeah, that's right.
It's this fish that's poisonous if you don't prepare it a certain way, it'll kill you. So he goes, I'm gonna take you to dinner. And then he's feeding us fugu fish, and we're like, so it's 50-50. We're gonna survive this dinner. Yeah. It's also cool to reunite after all these years and see how these guys turned into wonderful men. You know, they're fathers now, and you know, our conversation is way more mature because it used to be about video games, right? And Nikes, right?
And Nikes, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like getting back together with a team.
There's really no acting going on because we're genuinely happy to see each other.
Okay, everybody looking this way before I fall. Don't fall. Okay, and this way. Thanks very much.
When I think about the 16 plus years that I've been a part of this franchise and how far we've come, it feels like being a part of history. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I say it all the time. We are a true family where everybody spends time with each other. All of our kids know each other. We invite each other to barbecues and birthdays, and I think that's why the on-screen chemistry is so phenomenal and continues to touch the hearts of millions and millions of people around the world.
Whatever's on you, it's on us.
Everybody's gone through everything together. It's a deeper, more enduring relationship.
With the cast and crew, our kids are now growing up, and my son now, he's 10, and he has Uncle Vin, Uncle Sung. I always loved exploring and kind of developing and creating this family in a very untraditional way.
Back in the day when we were all younger, we all had our own things going on, and we would, you know, go off to something somewhere. And now we all realize how special this is, that we want to cherish it.
Dom's my brother, but you will always be my sister.
It's exciting, it's action, it's about love and family and friendship and loyalty and all of these things. That doesn't matter what your background is, what your struggles are, we can all relate to those things.
The craziness of what's happening around us is insane. But then you look at the people. I love that there's that belief in each other. Really comes down to heart. And it's kind of cool, you know?
Art subtly makes changes in the world. I feel really lucky and blessed to be a part of that. And I just became a person that was invited to the table. And it was pretty special.
Suggesting you want some Celine Dion. For the people that's been rocking with us for this many years, thank you. Thank you for giving us a shot at entertaining you.
What a privilege that is, go on these journeys with people that I trust, that I enjoy working with. It's all one voice, and that's something that I take a lot of pride in.
I feel so blessed that we were able to pull it off. And I truly, 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 truly mean it when I say, we hope to make you proud.
the ingredient for us. With whatever crazy idea, let's start with a car, let's crash it, let's do whatever with it practically. And that will be our starting off point.
It's what the audience loves in any kind of movie anyway, especially Fast. Use visual effects when you have to, but give us organic, give us practical.
The camera never lies. When people are really doing their stunts, there's just a different energy.
Justin, he pushes it. He pushes the envelope to get everything.
Some of the things that happen are just so insane. WTF moments, let's just put it that way.
We started doing these films 20 years ago, when all that was available was practical. Justin wanted to push the envelope and really give you a visceral reaction.
I love challenging them to see how we can tell these stories. Sometimes I don't know how they do it. I just say, that's the way we have to do it, and they make it happen, and I love that.
One of the things that also made this Fast unique is that not only are we going all over the world for it, we also got back in time to Jack Toretto in the 90s to show a scene where he is racing.
It was the first sequence that we designed, and it evolved through the 14 months making this movie.
We have 48 cars. There'll only be about maybe 15 to 18 on the track at any given moment, but it's still just a lot of cars to keep running. Any car that's going to be pushing a car or doing spins, we've put automatics in them just because it makes the stunt guy's life easier. Ideal for racing, no. Ideal for what we're doing, yes.
There are clearly risks with shooting in a practical approach, but it means something to the film, and we can't deny that.
Get ready on your left.
Justin had created this final wreck. He had this thing hitting the fence, coming down, spinning, blowing up.
So we started out with practical slide sideways. Now that he's sideways, we used Kenny's car, and I built a rig on it to attach it to Jack's car. Then I built a steel pipe that came up off the track about 3 feet, so that started the lift. And then we re-rigged another one that had a cannon in it with the same push mechanism. And now we move it down and boom, cannon the car in the air, and now it starts flipping in the air towards the fence. Piece all that together and you've got exactly what Justin wanted.
One thing to get a car souped up, say, okay, this car is all made, ready to go through all this, but how are we going to get the camera to do the same thing and follow the car and chase it, go through explosions? I mean, there are so many layers to the action. It's not just the cars, it's not just the terrain, it's not just the special effect.
The Dom double was driving the Dom car side by side and blew up and went over and actually hit on top of him and then rolled off on him. And then we did an overlap of the other one slamming into the wagon.
All of these action scenes and fancy camera cranes, and I'm just happy that I'm still getting a piece of the action.
Roman's truck slams in between 2 rocks just as he hits a mine, and it lifts the rear end again like this, and then it drops down between the rocks and stops. So we did that one practically.
Want to make it as realistic as possible. There's nothing better because people are looking at it as if this can actually happen.
This is the moment where Tej is chased down by another car that's flipping behind him. He's got to beat him to the bridge, and then the bridge collapses, and still on the gas, we come flying off the bridge out of here and get to Mirren.
It's not like he's just jumping straight. He's literally coming from below where you think that he's dropping down this cliff, and he actually climbs up and comes back up. The car had to have the right trajectory. That took a lot of practical effects, a lot of rehearsing, and also getting the cameras in the right place.
we were scouting Edinburgh, I love a lot of the curved streets and the different change in altitude. And that was something that I wanted to make sure that we capture. And then on top of that, having this truck go through and having things get stuck, magnets and stuff like that, that was kind of the bonus.
The magnet gag just opened up so many cool ideas.
I wanted to interact with the environment as much as possible, pulling down poles and signs, pulling appliances out of stores.
2 flippers, 2 cannons, and a cable. There's a flipper on the left side. Boom, boom. Gas it in.
Not only does a magnet pull things in, it also repels things. So we wanted to come up with some cool ideas of repelling it. One of the ideas we had was 2 bad guys chasing Dom, and he pulls the cars in with the magnet. At the same time, he pushes them away right when he sees parked cars on either side.
The armadillo, when we were designing it, we wanted something that just the sheer size was going to dwarf anything that we've seen.
They have to stop it. So we had effects build car shooters, which are big air mortars that have tubes in cars that you put on the air motor, and the cars are on rollers. And they're on the sides of the road, and as this truck's coming, they just start firing at the truck. And we built this big scoop on the nose of the truck, so they would go up the truck and fly in the air. Really spectacular looking, seeing this beast go down a road with sucking cars in on both sides. They're flying. Our heroes are trying to miss them in the back, and it's really, really cool to watch.
I never get tired of cars crashing into each other. The more we do it, the more we do try to challenge each other. That's the one element that's constant, is that the adrenaline rush when we plan a stunt practically and just launch it, you know, just see what happens. Maybe nobody thought we were crazy enough to bring him back. We wanted it to be a secret.
If people spotted me while we were shooting there, I told them I was just on vacation. Nice clubhouse.
It's very important for me to find ways and opportunities to revisit characters.
Nice steaks. So I got my postcard, huh?
And play in the greater mythology.
There have been a lot of people that we thought died in this franchise, and no one seems to really be all the way dead.
For somebody who's been brought back, I can say nothing but yes.
This song is the swag master. Welcome back, son. We missed you, man.
To be able to explain to the audience what happened to Han and that he wasn't gone is really exciting. What I think Justin rightfully had to do was to begin to peel back the layers and explain where Han had been.
To do it justice, I realized how much our saga went from this film about car culture to exploring these characters through heists and espionage. And it's able to connect Han with Mr. Nobody. There are many reasons to come back to do this film, but one of the big reasons is justice for Han. 2 or 3 years ago, someone mentioned that Shaw was at the Toretto barbecue. That was the first time I heard about it. It meant a lot, the Justice for Han movement. This is a character that goes all the way back.
It was nice that it actually started from the fans because, you know, the fans are what supports this franchise.
I started talking to fans and I realized they were really upset. I think what really upset them wasn't that he was at the barbecue, it's the fact that Han was never discussed.
There are a lot of cultures that feel represented by individual characters, and it's been going on, and Han does that for an entire community.
The point is to create the opportunity, like a real opportunity to go get the lead.
For an actor, you know, it's been a blessing to be able to play a character like that. Pretty nifty magic trick.
When When I heard the news that Sung was coming back, I was extremely excited. Not only do I love Sung's character, I just think Sung as an individual, as an actor, is great energy to this cast.
I guess it is true when they say art imitates life. It's been a long time since I've seen everyone. It was emotional because it was like seeing old friends that just got better. And there's shorthand after years and years of working together and these shared experiences. We do have this connection.
As a filmmaker, I think part of the saga is try to push ourselves and sometimes putting ourselves in uncomfortable positions, and that's great. But until you get to share it with the fans, you don't know for sure. And so it was very rewarding. I give the fans a lot of credit.
Hold on! It's in my bloodline, yeah.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Are you really ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were shooting Fast and Furious 4, and Vin pulled me aside and said, hey, I became a father today. I remember distinctly that turning point and kind of how it affected Vin, but also how that affected the way we were portraying Dom.
I'll always be in your heart. When you become a parent, you analyze your parents, or maybe you try to search deeper for what your parents were trying to tell you. So in order for Dom to be a father in the truest sense, he has to go and revisit his past.
The interesting part about playing Jack Toretto was finding out his backstory and the importance of that role that he played in Dom and Jacob's life.
Jacob! Now!
Jack asks young Jacob to undo the fuel pipe, knowing Jacob is able to take that burden. And for the two characters at that moment, there's a lot of guilt.
It's not about being the stronger man, Dom. It's about being the bigger one.
Dom really looks up to his father. That's his everything. He just really wants to be like Dad. And so the moment when Kenny Linda collides with him, that's the moment that he kind of begins the transition from this young, innocent boy into who we now know as Dominic Toretto.
There's a responsibility to the audience to tell that story and to make sure that they understand that relationship between father and sons. You take care of it. It'll live beyond you.
To think you were filming with me the day Vincent was born.
It was great to see Vincent through the years growing and now getting to work with him, not only just as an actor, but playing a young Dom Toretto. I've known him since a baby, and he was asking me questions, motivations, and it was very serious. To be able to stand there with Vin, it was very meaningful.
I really like acting and I want to keep doing it. I really like the Fast and the Furious saga a lot. It's one of my favorites.
Ooh, he's good, boy. The idea that this character that was an outlaw is now a father is a very interesting and engaging concept.
I think it's hard for Letty. She's not a mother, and Letty doesn't truly understand because she looks at the big picture. And I think slowly she starts to understand why he made the decision he made.
This is where I met your mom for the first time. Right there. She's watching over you from heaven.
When I watch the movie, I melt when I see baby Brian and Dom. It's kind of a surreal experience. It's probably the most mirror-like experience I've had watching a film.
What? It's cool.
That's what's so fun about the evolution of the character, because it's something that we all can identify with. When we have children, the stakes are higher. When we have children, we have to care about the planet and the world and humanity in some way or another.
None of it is worth a thing if I lose you.
This is who we are.
I'm really proud that we're able to bring something fresh for the viewers. And the fact that we acknowledge growth, we acknowledge aging, maturity, evolution in our characters. Dom is someone that has not only his own legacy, but has a relationship to legacies before him.
You ready to say grace, kid?
But I don't know what to say.
All it's easy. Just say whatever's in your heart.
I wake up at 4:30. I like the silence and the peace of the morning, so I get up kind of extra early just to be able to make my breakfast. It's porridge, eggs, Tabasco sauce, and my Americano. I sleep 3 hours a night, and I'm still excited every morning for the day and about what we're trying to go and grab. Morning. It takes about 45 minutes to go from my flat to the studio, and it usually kind of gets me into the right mindset to kind of deal with the day. 45-minute drives are actually like times where I can get on the phone, I can work, I could be writing. I would buy that they are blocking the traffic, but then also at the same time, the finish line must be blocking the traffic. To be able to be shooting sometimes 3 units on 3 parts of the world at the exact same time takes a lot of coordination, it takes a lot of trust, it takes a lot of communication. We got a lot of pieces today that we're trying to match to our Tbilisi action sequence. So we're gonna need some sun. I know for me and for our crew and everybody is we're trying to make sure every dollar is being put on screen. And so strategically, it makes for a huge challenge. Well, I think to set up Letty and those guys, it might be good.
So, okay. Good. I have my little box, and there's another person whose box is costumes. Somebody else might be transportation. And each of those realms is probably really stressful, to be in, because you still have to make all these decisions. But what I see in his job, the director, is everything in the end filters through you.
You definitely want to have foreground, and you want to counter, right? Okay. But it's really about the frame. All right, okay. But cool, thanks.
He is responsible for every bit of dialogue or scenery, and that's one part of his day.
Do you want him to say...
And then I see this costume person running in, and he has to give notes on the costume, and then he has to give notes to the art department, and then like the macro picture, the studio has a budget and a timeline. There's promotion. What's the trailer going to be? How do you convey your intentions to the actors? Like everything. So when you hear a story about him going to sleep at 12:30 and waking up 2:30, you know why. Like we're at each of our stressful blocks. He's got them all to handle.
Cut. Okay. You go in. Whoever gets it. The parents are going. Production's fun because, like, even though it's hard hours, if you have the right group of people, nothing beats it. You're not alone, You can't make a movie by yourself.
I knew Justin was going to direct Fast 9. I like to support a director that's invested in the greater mythology.
And at this moment, you just saw Jacob. It's confirmed. Everything's confirmed. There's a dark cloud.
Justin is a madman who does not take any breaks.
I'm gonna go check on the cut.
He's literally editing and splicing this movie.
That is Justin to editorial.
As we're shooting it, that makes him in the elite of directors that I've ever worked with and ever heard of.
Before he lands, once he lands, he's on the other side, right? Oh, Sean shouldn't anticipate. Hold on. I'm not the easiest guy to work with, and I also acknowledge that I do things a little differently, but I feel like sometimes the crew and the culture is something that you earn. And this is an amazing group of people. I mean, they're at the top of their profession. One more, Sean. I think let's not anticipate. So let's do one more when we do it on the day. Let's not anticipate this because they're gonna be here.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, so we're gonna be down and go up with them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. 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 Cool. Thanks. For us to be able to get together and talk and to be able to be cohesive so that when people watch the film, they feel like it's all one voice. And that's something that I take a lot of pride in, and I give the crew all the credit for making it happen. Thank you guys so much.
Great week. That's a wrap. Yes.
I think the one thing I want to make sure is that
it's so rare in any career to be able to have shared journeys with people that you started with. I think back to when we were first starting our career, both of us, we didn't have any money. We really didn't come from a family that was established in Hollywood. We just had this common dream of being storytellers. You know, I just feel very lucky that I get to, you know, share another movie with a friend.
You wanted it not to be recognized, right?
What Justin will never know, maybe he'll know it after he see this, but Justin will never know that at this point in my life, in the Fast universe, what we ultimately do on camera is for the sake of the audience. The things that me and Justin talk about off camera mean so much to me. And then whatever the outcome of our talks and how it shows up on camera, that's the compliment. It's not what I'm actually doing on camera. It's the things that we talk about and work through and establish before we put it on camera that makes what we put on camera mean that much more.
That was great. I felt that on that one.
I think this is our 5th movie together. And he literally has sayings that he can tell me, and I'm like, okay, got it. Will do, will do. He's a massively successful director, but he still is the sweetest, kindest, and cares the most about the integrity of the film and what it means.
Every time we make one of these films, it's at least 2 years of my life. So it means a lot to be able to go on these journeys with people that I trust, that I enjoy working with. We have to have the same work ethic, and to be able to really kind of be there for each other. Sometimes, you know, on holidays, on weekends for sure, we're always kind of working together. We're having meals together. We're growing older together.
This is so amazing.
It is something that through time, I take a lot of pride in. Who's around me, who is on this project. It is something that you earn. You could say all you want about you want to make a great movie, but until you actually go in the trenches and earn that relationship, it really is nothing until you do it.
This is definitely the highlight of my career.
Sorry in advance that you're gonna take freezing your ass.
Justin's cool, man. He's got a lot of skin in the game.
There's a rig that we're gonna be spinning you guys 360. And
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
He's really not holding back when it comes to the action. It's on steroids.
like, how are we gonna get Michelle up there on a long lens and then get like months of discussion on that?
I'm happy it's in the hands of somebody who cares.
Just the stress of trying to get the day is the main thing. You know, here in the UK, I love kind of their system because it's a 10-hour straight day, walking lunch, we work through it. I feel like it's more efficient.
We're done for a day, huh? We can go work out. I think one of my great finds for me on this shoot is the idea that I can actually go work out after a long, long day and very little sleep.
Let's get warmed up. Good.
With the audience, there's always this perception that if you're a real filmmaker,
And drive. Yeah, there we go.
you get everything, you know everything, and you finish it and you shoot it and it's perfect.
3, 2, 1, and time.
But I will take every second. I will continue to write after we wrap production. I will keep writing as we edit. I'll keep tweaking until they take the film away from me. The long lens, looking back to LA, like that's, you know, you want to feature I think part of going to 4th Street Bridge is to really feature the LA and the LA River.
By the time we get home, I can go in the cutting room. I make sure the cutting room is literally 20 feet from this flat, so we're close.
What up, yo?
Once I get in here, then I can do that. I can have everything on my computer.
Even if the fight is, he came in with the arm and he pulled him back.
Luckily, we're about 2 weeks from wrapping here. It feels like it's a never-ending process, but you have to keep at it. And it's still very stressful. It's a big cast. It's very ambitious. But it's important that, you know, if I'm gonna put in this kind of work, it has to be a kind of process that I'm leading. I choose to sleep 3 hours, you know? If this process is not something that I choose and the people around me are not the right people, then I don't think I would be able to survive.
All right, man. Good night.
Hey everybody, what's up? This is John Cena on the set of Fast 9. I love cars, and we're surrounded today by horsepower. You see all these vehicles behind me. Some of them you may recognize, some of them you may never have seen before. This is a car I'm very familiar with because I used to own one. This is a 2005 Aston Martin Vanquish S. It is a front-engine V12. Gray would be the color of choice because gray is shaken, not stirred. But I actually like this one. It's very refined in tuxedo black. This is a TVR. This is a car that surprised me being here today. Rare car. I've actually never seen one of these up close. It's something that you will never see on the road, and you need to check out the interior. Very British, but yet racy at the same time. My abs are gonna cramp up trying to get in it, but I'm gonna get in it. I don't care. This is a big guy in a little car. This is the McLaren 720S, and you may have seen one in a Fast sort of movie before. McLaren makes mid-engine screamers, and this is the biggest of the bunch, unless we're talking a P1. But the 720S is almost unbeatable, and in all black, this one is gorgeous. Some would say McLaren is the brand that forced Ferrari to step their game up, and they've been at war ever since. This car's name is the Ferrari. And it is indeed the finest offering to date Ferrari has ever let the consumer have. The mid-engine V12 is just the start of the story of the Ferrari. We are fortunate to have this car here, and this is as close as I'm going to get to this, the Ferrari. Fantastic car. Those who are familiar will be like, oh, it's the 25th anniversary Lamborghini Countach. Yes, you're correct, but this is the one built for Lamborghini where they celebrated their 25th anniversary. This was a bit of a poster car for me when I was a young man. A true driver's car. There's a ton of power, and the rear end will get away from you. It literally feels like you are in a rocket ship with minimal control. Mid-engine V12, unbelievable styling, and of course, the knockout Lamborghini doors. This one is a classic. I've always been fancy to the Lamborghinis, and this is a Lamborghini Superveloce. It is an Aventador, which means it's the latest model. The Lamborghini Aventador is a milestone for Lamborghini because it marked their first track-ready mid-engine V12. Thanks, Lambo! This is the Aventador SVJ. It has been stripped of everything it doesn't need. It looks like a stealth fighter. It's probably faster. This car is unbelievable. All of its aerodynamics. This is the next evolution of the Superveloce. You won't see another one of these. You are going to recognize this. This noble M600 is going to perform quite a feat, something that none of these cars can do. Why? No traction control. If you're a track fan, it has no assistance, no computer bogging. You actually tune it and forge the ride that you want yourself. So, why is every other car black and this one purple and yellow? Let's just say our director, Justin Lin's a little bit of a Lakers fan. And this is a car I've never even seen before. Please tell me what we're looking at.
Sure. It's called the Apollo IE, a modern-day homage to one of our favorite eras, the GT1 days of the 90s. We'll only do 10 units, but it's really to create a milestone, something that's truly special that will carry significance going forward.
In a driveway full of supercars and hypercars, the Apollo IE is a super hypercar. I got a confession to make. I play dress up for a living. And they call it work, which it's not. It's fantastic. And on top of that, in the rare circumstance, I get to combine a passion of mine, the car culture, with my actual job and still call it work. And you can hear an old school Lamborghini V12 rumbling behind me, and it literally makes my heart skip. Beautiful. I don't even want to dent it. I don't even want to touch it.